So, alright, I watched this, and it's a strange one. I didn't quite. I mean, you never know what to expect, obviously. And funnily enough, it has both the comedy and romance genres added to it. So I'm just saying, obviously, isn't it all like anything that is usually typical in those with, obviously. Um, these days, at least, I don't know what honestly they were like. When you combine those two in the 90s, if they were at all typical, like just as pathetic as these days. When you combine specifically those, obviously it's not just those two in this instance, but even then, I mean, the guy doesn't mean it's certainly different. I'm not sure. I'd say I mean it's not coherent, is it? But that difference makes it interesting. Certainly, just it's a bit. I don't know what to say in certain parts. It's a bit strange, isn't it? It's a certain part. It's still mostly interesting. I mean, obviously, the wacky characters are interesting. The fact that they all have different personalities is interesting. Usually, it is interesting, when characters have such different quirky personalities as well, generally. But I mean, I don't know. Like, let's just say I didn't exactly, like when it concerns, the romance genre, you could theoretically have someone masturbating, but it's very much theoretical, and I certainly didn't have, someone totally clothed, of course, in whatever, I think it called PVC, apparently clothing. Not that I have any idea what it is. I didn't have the, someone like that, masturbating to a song on my bingo card, whatever that is. Not that I have one, any actual card or anything, but yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, so I mean, it's theoretically possible, but generally, well, in fact, I mean, I mean, I don't know. In certain instances, it just felt like soft porn at best, very much soft, considering but yeah, it's just otherwise. So I mean, that one was strange, certainly, but I mean, strange obviously isn't negative, generally. It's still not very coherent as a movie, though. So in that sense, it's not. But then, do you necessarily? I mean, because you get too much coherence, and you get what is genre stereotypical. So that is, I guess, positive in a sense. If you're not coherent, you might be different from other movies, and this one certainly. And yeah, by the way, I actually haven't watched the prequel yet. I didn't know it was a prequel, so I'll watch it at some point. But I just haven't watched it yet. Apparently set in the day, and it has Faye Wong in it. I had no idea she acted a bit. Apparently she hasn't acted since 2004, and I know her from well, not from. I mean, I know her from a song, but not generally. As in, I don't follow her or anything. But yeah, I know her from Final Fantasy 8. So I think that's the only one she did. So yeah. Anyway, so I still have to watch that. Apparently, it's complimentary. The director thinks it should be watched back to back or something. I'm sure I'll watch it at some point in the future, soon. But well, I mean, for now, yeah, pretty sure that they're different at any rate. They're yeah. Silver was off at one point. But yeah, it's this one was interesting. I do like how it is all dark. I do generally like the darkness, but still the question is, I mean, what does it say? Well, what is it about? I mean, does it really make any sense? Like, I know it's trying to be so-called post-modern in this sense, post any expectations, any stereotypes of movie genres, maybe. But I mean, obviously, it's not like it had too much romance in it or anything in that sense. So that's, in my opinion, always positive, I guess. You do not become too ridiculous when it comes to that. And like, I know the ending there, but even then, well, I mean, it was just a lift, I guess. It's a bit weird to think. To think, she said at the end that she feels warm. Personally, I'd rather not be at the edge of a motorbike to feel warmth. I don't know, seems dangerous. Anyway, yeah. So, the music, I think was the highlight. Like, I sometimes I watch movies where the music is pretty good as well, and the movie not so much. Sometimes. With this one though, the music was pretty good. Apparently, I think Brian Eno was involved a bit. I'm not sure. I think mostly though is some other person, the director himself, knew. So yeah, this is the first time I actually watch anything from this director. And apparently he's known for this sort of thing, I read. So it could be interesting to watch more of what he did. I kind of like this sort of stuff, but obviously it's still, I mean, it's not guaranteed to be like a perfect movie as such. Obviously nothing is, but perfect isn't subjectively as well, perhaps, as in, I didn't, tremendously enjoy it, or it didn't tremendously affect me or anything, so in that sense it's a bit confusing as to what I like about it. But I do like, I mean, how they play. So along with the music, the cinematography, you don't normally get a lot of this sort of thing. Cinematography is usually barely perceptible. They don't even bother changing anything. They go for the ultra realistic effect, which is I guess just direct filming and everything without any effects or anything that effects necessarily. But I think it's interesting. Like which other movie did I watch that? I think it was called. Wait, let me just confirm. But yeah, I do like cinematography that changes a bit. Not many movies at all do it. Absolutely not many at all. Right. But when they do, I do like it. So yeah, A Single Man hasn't. It's been many years since I've watched it, but what I remember, it changed cinematography based on emotions. Apparently, it was done by a fashion designer, so not the most typical director. I liked anyway how that happened as well. And this is similarly, I don't think it changed it according to emotions, but obviously it changed it, yeah. Like, before the shootouts, though. Honestly, often I don't even like movies where there are killings, there's violence and such. And with this one, barely makes sense, I mean, as in, it's not like he had a reason to go around and shooting people. Literally, there was no reason except, just to have another job. So, not much of a reason still. So, just saying. But on the other hand, we're dealing about disaffected individuals, I suppose. So, in other words, not too dissimilar to any other job. And in most jobs, people are disaffected. Obviously, it's a bit worrisome, if you actually have in real life a professional assassin who's so disaffected that they don't care so much who they kill. And it was strange anyway, observing him, just going about the daily life. Then, yeah. Because honestly, I was just thinking, is he going to kill this person he's interacting with normally? But then again, maybe I shouldn't have thought that, because there was no evidence before or after that he acted out of sort of anger, such he wasn't a killer where he killed when he's angry. He killed just because he was contracted to do so. I guess that is what an assassin is like. I honestly have no idea how, if how that happens. I mean, because it's Anyway, so he wasn't though the most interesting character, I suppose, was he? I mean, you get the mute then, who I thought it would be difficult to create such a character on screen, but I guess narration works obviously. But yeah, he was a strange one. He was possibly the strangest, apart from the one who was taking out her frustrations on a blonde blow-up doll. That's for a while I didn't even realize a blondie who referred to, I don't know why. The movie is so disconnected, you see, that I really didn't connect some things, just some things, mostly, I mean, it's understandable, but some things, like even at the end there, where that woman was standing in the mute place there, where he was supposedly cleaning. I didn't realize she was the one who was freaking out earlier, who cried on his shoulder. I just had no idea. I mean, I don't know if it's because she had a completely different clothing. It could be, it's also something that throws you off guard when that happens. So this is the thing, isn't it? But the movie, what I'm saying is that the movie isn't quite very easily perceptible, isn't it? Easily understood. Really, mostly. But yeah, it's a kind of movie which not the kind where that you're going to like it, absolutely going to like this, from the beginning, it's a confusing thing, for movies. I mean, I probably thought that when it comes to cinematography, I thought this was going to be interesting. Yeah, when it comes to lighting, and I noticed immediately how they decided to a wide angle lens, I believe it's called, and the positioning of the camera was the strangest. So yeah, it's interesting, when a movie isn't like, just like any other movie, just straight head on filming, and just music, to be there in the background. No, the music was there as well on its own, like it's a character as well, just going around, and it's very strange to think, by the way, how apparently the real life personality that acts the assassin character is a pop singer. So yeah, that's a very strange thing. There's always this thing, where singers or other sorts of, usually singers, they think that they can act as well. I mean, I don't know. In the sense, it's not like he had to do much apart from a brood. It's all about brooding, isn't it? The movie was just one whole brood and a bit of masturbation, apparently. So yeah, it's a very strange thing. It was the listlessness reminded me of what was it called again? Gummo, yeah, and it came out 2 years after this one, apparently. It's not exactly a neo-noir, but it's similarly displays. It's more of a sort of a documentary film rather than this was more of a film, I suppose. But a pseudo documentary. I mean, it's still I guess I don't think I liked it as much. So it has some awful stuff that happens. So in that sense, I prefer this, but I still do not prefer it in the sense. Well, I prefer when you compare just the two, but it's still not very. I don't know. There's still something missing. I'm not sure if it's cohesiveness or not, or but otherwise it's interesting.